everybody, welcome back. I am so glad that you could join me this afternoon. I decided after last night's video, I shared some pictures of the hats that I am donating or giving to my friend for her first grade class. The only hat that wasn't a solid color, like all solid, well, two different solid colors, was the rainbow one. I will stick a picture of it up in the corner if you guys haven't seen that video. But anyway, I decided that it might not be a good idea to have just one hat that is completely different than all the rest of them. So I finished up this orange and green hat that I showed you guys last night that I had started in the craft room. And I'm going to swap the rainbow colored hat out with this one so that there is no fighting or arguing with any of the kids over the hat that is completely different. So just trying to save her a little bit of hassle. So I will be swapping that out tonight. I have contacted her and let her know that I have the hats ready to pick up or ready for us to meet somewhere. Pardon me. Meet somewhere, whichever works best for her. So this hat is finished, and that is what I'm going to do with it. Now, on to things that you are probably here for. Gotta find my thing. I will insert at the end of this a picture of my crazy camera setup. I'm using two different tablets, one for recording and one for just a picture of what I am recording, because I can't totally see the top of one tablet. It's really crazy. Some high-tech, you know, we go high-tech filming here. But anyway, I have written down the instructions here for myself. I've been trying to put 16 loops per hook. I'm using 4 hooks, and that's a total of 64 round, I believe. And I have a total of 35 rows to go to make the to have it big enough to cross stitch this owl onto the bag. So I am currently at, this is row 10. Let me see where my marker, there we go. This marker is at row 10, so 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17. I have row 18 on the bag. So what we're going to try and do is fix this so that I can hopefully see better. There we go. The light was glaring on the bottom tablet, which was glaring on the top tablet. Okay. Anyway, I decided to roll this floppy skein into a ball to make it a lot easier for me to get yarn out, you know, instead of having a big tangled floppy mess. The bag is big enough, it can store my yarn ball. So I'm going to just keep the ball inside the bag. Perfect. Don't have to worry about it getting lost or rolling off or anything like that. So while we are here, I don't know a whole lot about what I'm going to chit-chat about. We might find out. I might not say anything at all. Guess I have to sit clear all the way up here to my table. But I'm going to do the next, finish this row off and do the next 2 more rows with you guys. If you're interested in this particular method that I am doing, then go back to part 1. I will put a link to part 1 in this video, and then obviously in the first video I will link to the other ones as well as I get them done. But go back to part 1, and there is a free book that you can download from archive.org that explains it. That is where I learned the concept, well, the basic concept of doing this. And then through other videos and things that I've read and experimentation, I have improved or made this better. But what I am doing is 2 strands, no, not 2 strands, it's just 1 strand of yarn in the round with Tunisian crochet. I am using an H clover double-ended hook. And the color that I'm using is it was a scrap that I had because it had a paper tag on it, so it was obviously from a flea market. I'm going to take this out for now. I'm going to get my knitting loom down, put the ball in the knitting loom. It's kind of corral it, set it off to the side. But anyway, the yarn was obviously from a flea market because it had the string on it from the tag. But it is a Red Heart Super Saver, might be Super Saver, but a Red Heart color, and it's light gray. And that's what I chose. I should have enough to finish this. The only thing left after this would be the drawstrings, but I'm kind of leaning, that loop was split off of one of those strands, so I put that strand back on there. But with the drawstrings, I'm kind of leaning forward to doing one of each color purple, and then maybe putting a little tassel on the end of it. I don't know, we'll see when we get there. This is my December project, along with making hats. I think what I'm going to do with the hats is just go with the 2 strands of yarn and Tunisian crochet, because I could probably make 1.5 of those a day. Sorry about that. I had a slight interruption, and I don't even know what we were talking about. I have no clue. Oh. So, let's see. What were we talking about? Were we talking about hats, maybe? If we were talking about hats, I was saying that I will probably just use the 2 strands of yarn and do the Tunisian crochet ones, like the one I showed you at the very beginning. That seems to go fairly quick. I can usually make one of those. I could probably get 1.5 done in a day with the interruptions that I have. I tried last night to make a hat on the Addy. I got it down, got some yarn that it should like, because my Addy is, oh my goodness, so picky. I will put a picture in of the utter sheer mess that happened. I was within 10 rows of having the hat finished, and Addy just got a wild hair and it totally messed everything up. So that's why I don't like using my Addy anymore. I don't plan on getting rid of it. Maybe when I have more time to sit and babysit it, I will be using it again. It started out working really well for me, but I don't know, maybe it needs cleaned or something. I don't enjoy using it like I did the first 1.5 years or so that I had it. 13, 14, 15. Another thing, doing 15 or doing 16 per hook, at least I know that I have enough stitches going around. I haven't dropped one or done something weird with anything. But yeah, Addy, no. Addy's going to get packed back up, and Addy will stay in the box until I'm ready to mess with Addy again. 5, 6. Oops. Sorry, I was counting 16 there. And I will say that I am not intending this to be a how-to video or anything like that. I am just working on this for a little bit while I chat with you guys, because apparently video number 1 of this was very popular. It totally blew me away how many views I have already gotten on that. That is like one of my most watched videos, and I can't remember when. So I'm shocked. I want to say thank you to everybody. There's 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, and 16. Yes, please keep watching my videos. I am not monetized on YouTube. I no longer have the correct credentials to do so, and besides, YouTube has issues with me for whatever reason. I don't know what the reason is. They can't confirm my identity, which is really weird, because nothing has changed since I originally signed up. I've sent them all the information of, you know, what they're requesting, but they still can't confirm my identity. So what it is, if you see ads on YouTube, I'm not making anything on. If you see ads on my videos, I'm not getting anything for them. So yeah, just skip them. Don't let them get all their money. Of course, I think they just get it anyway. But yeah. All right. That should be 18. No, what am I on? 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18. This is 19, so one more row. You guys want to stick around for one more row, or do we want to quit? One more row? All right, one more row. We will do one more row. That goes all, whoops. That's the nice thing about Tunisian crochet. It is simple to fix when you have mistakes. Even if it's a mistake a row or two down, if I would have skipped a stitch like a row down, I would just made a really long simple stitch. Because usually it's not that noticeable. Even if you know it's there, it's not usually that noticeable. And I do that a lot, trust me. But so do you count the return stitch as a row, or do you count the return stitch as just the second half of the row? Technically, it's just the second half of the row. So I will do the forward stitch one more time, and then we will call it quits on this video for today. Hopefully I can get this finished up, and next week we can be started on, or next week we can start on the cross stitch part of this project. I'm super excited about doing the cross stitch part because I've never done it, you know, on a bag like this before. So I'm kind of excited to see how it's going to turn out. I have no clue. I go into these projects totally blind. I find the cross stitch pattern that I like. I count how many rows that I need, I like to leave at least two rows on the bottom and 2 rows on each side if it's a flat panel, and 2 rows on the top, in addition to how many rows I need for the pattern. And then I just go for it. I wing it. I have no clue what it's going to look like. Well, I mean, I kind of do, but putting it on this, I have no idea what it's going to look like or how it's even going to turn out. Don't think I've ever been only time I've been disappointed is the very first one that I ever did, and the pattern was just kind of weird. I made a cross stitch poodle, which there's an actual Afghan pattern. It's on Purple Kitty Crochet. I can't remember the exact website, what it is, but it's Purple Kitty Crochet or something like that. It's a vintage Afghan crochet pattern with the cross stitch. And I did that, and I do not like the way that poodle looked when I cross stitched it. Maybe I goofed, I don't know. But I did enter it in the county fair. I do believe it got 3rd place, and I gave it to my mom for Christmas, and she absolutely loved it. So that works out perfect. 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, and 16. There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, and yes, normally I do count every single stitch on all of my projects as I'm going. I usually don't go back and recount, but as I'm going along, I'll find myself counting, and interesting enough, even if I'm not counting in my head, sometimes just in a random spot, I'll just start counting at a random number, and a lot of times I end up about right when I get to the end. Sometimes it's even perfect. I don't know how I do that, but and I can't count and talk at the same time. I apologize. But yeah, those times that I do come out like in the right exact spot that I'm supposed to be at for stitches, it's crazy. But it happens more times than not. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, and 16. Let me grab a stitch marker real quick since I'm going on the return stitch. This should be row number 20, and I'm going to mark it. That way I know exactly where I'm at, because I've been marking like every 10 rows. So that will work right there. Okay. Let's double count one more time. So that's 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19. This is row 20. So when we get like right in here somewhere, I'm going to put this blue stitch marker in so that I know I'm on row 20 and I have, how many did I say? 15 rows to go. No. 20 to 35, that's, yeah. 15 rows, I think. I don't know. I'm not good with numbers, but I'll figure it out when I get there. But yeah, it's 15 rows. 20 to 30 would be 10, and then 5 more would be 15. So there's 1, 2, 3, 4. I don't need to count these. I find myself counting going back as well. About the only thing I do that with is Tunisian crochet in projects other than like increasing. I pretty much always do counting for increasing, but when I'm just going for the pattern and not having to increase, I usually don't count unless it's Tunisian crochet, and then I do find myself counting an awful lot, just like a lot. Because sometimes with Tunisian crochet, it's really easy to miss a stitch or skip a stitch, and then you don't realize it until you decide to count again. So that's partly why I count forwards and backwards a lot. Alright, so we finished that. Let's put that stitch marker right there. That is my 20 rows. Alright, we're on the row home, last row, and then I got 15 to go. Alright, that was 16. I counted it. Did you guys count it? I counted 16. Alright, so we have 20 rows here. This bag is currently, this is a 6-inch ruler, so this is currently 6 inches. So half of that would be 3, and then 5 more would be, let's see. So I've got 3 more inches. And then half of 3 is 1.5 inches, so that's 4.5 more inches to go. 2, 3, 4, about 4.5. So that's how much taller the bag will probably be, give or take. That's a big bag. That's a really big bag. All right, I'm going to let you guys go. I'm going to sit here and work on this in between customers, because if you don't recognize this, this is my work desk. So hopefully I can get this done or almost done, and when I get to the point of doing the cross stitch, I will check back with you guys. I will put a link to part 1 down in the description box below if you haven't been able to watch that, or you didn't watch that first. And then obviously I'll put a link on part 1 for this video, which is part 2. So thank you guys for joining me. Give me a thumbs up, leave me a comment down below, and I will see you in my next video.